What's up YouTube, this is GalacticGod. I'm coming at you today with the first episode of a new video series idea I've had. Now, as a lot of you guys out there may be aware, I often go to a place out here in Southern California called Frankincense. It's kind of a mecca of sorts for different Yu-Gi-Oh players in the area because it has a huge warehouse full of different TCG cards. Not just Yu-Gi-Oh, but Vanguard and Magic the Gathering and Pokemon and Naruto and all these other different kind of card games. You can go and pick up packs and singles, and they have a lot of different vendors there. It's kind of this weird flea market, swap meet, kind of indoor place. It's really hard to explain unless you've ever been there. But not only TCG stuff do they have there, but it's a wide range of different collectibles. Everything from comic books to toys to Disney pins. They have it all there, and it's definitely a really cool place if you're into that kind of geek culture. And I've been there quite a number of times over the past decade or so, really. And I thought what I would do is kind of share some of my experiences that I've had while going there as they relate more or less to Yu-Gi-Oh! So for this first episode, I'm going to take you all the way back to the time of Elemental Energy, right when that set first came out. There was a card that was introduced in it called Pot of Avarice. Now this card was highly sought after by all the duelists. Everybody was clamoring to get their hands on this card because it was the new draw card. And since Pot of Greed and Graceful Charity and all these other kind of broken draw cards have been, placed on the forbidden list and been gone ever since essentially GOAT control, we were looking for, that new draw engine. And everybody was real excited, and me and a bunch of my friends, including Gimbledon and Brain Freeze Laser and whatnot, we had gone down to Frankincense to pick up these packs. And we'd all bought a bunch of these, and I just happened to pull an ultimate rare version of the card. And I was really excited about it. I was like, oh my gosh, this is so awesome. And so, like, flipping through the cards and stuff, and we were going by the different booths, and Long, who is a vendor there at Frankincense, as some of you guys who would go there might recognize the name, he saw that I had an ultimate rare Pot of Avarice. And he was like, hey, you pulled one of those? And I was like, yeah. And he was like, would you sell it? And I was like, I don't know, I kind of want to keep it for myself. He's like, no, I'll give you a good deal for it. And I was like, I don't know. I don't know if I really want to get rid of it. And he was like, well, what if I give you like $60 for it? And I was like, $60? And I was like, that's pretty good. I could go back and buy like, more than a box worth of cards. And it was kind of a gamble because I'd gotten the card that I wanted, but I figured if I buy a little bit more than a box, I have a really good chance of at least pulling, the super rare version of the card, which, in my eyes worked just as well. So I was like, you know what, that's sure, why not? And so I sold it to Long, and he gave me the $60. And then right as we were starting to walk away, I saw somebody come up and was like, how much for the Ultimate Rare Pot Avarice? And Long was like, $80. He's like, okay. And he gave him $80 for it, and I was like, holy crap, he just paid $80 for that card. It was insane. And as crazy as that is, we were walking through Frankincense, and Eileen, who is now over kind of by where all the other Yu-Gi-Oh booths are, she used to have a booth kind of off in the back area. For those of you guys who know about Frankincense, you'll kind of know a little bit what I'm talking about. There's like one section where primarily there's just nothing but TCG games, mostly Yu-Gi-Oh is located, and there's a few other booths scattered throughout the whole big Frankincense warehouse. But Eileen, who's now located in the main section, used to be kind of off to the side, like in the middle section or something like that. Anyways, I was walking by there, and I was gonna get some packs and whatnot, and I walked by her, and she was like flipping through a bunch of the new cards from Elemental Energy, and I was like, oh, did you pick up any Pot of Avarices? And she was like, Pot of Avarice, and she was looking through it. Now this is, of course, not before the days of the internet, but it was before it was like it was heavily prevalent to go look up card prices on the internet. And it was before we had like internet access on our cell phones and stuff, so you couldn't really look it up that way. And she was looking through it, and she was like, oh yeah, I've got 2 of the supers and then 1 of the ultimates. And I was like, oh. I was like, well, how much are they? And she was like, maybe like $5 each for the super, and then $15 for the ultimate. And I was like, okay, sure, I can do that. I bought the Ultimate Rare and the 2 supers, and then I took those cards and went back over to Long's booth, and I was like, Long, I got some more Pot of Avarices for you. And he was like, what, really? And I was like, yeah, I got another Ultimate, and I got 2 supers. How much did you pay for the supers? And he was like, oh, like 35 each. And I was like, alright, cool. So then I sold him my Ultimate for $60 again, and then I sold him my supers for like $35 each, and I was like, oh, this is pretty epic. I just made like over $100 off of just Pot of Avarices. I was like, this is pretty good Yu-Gi economics. Anyhow, that's going to pretty much do it for my first episode of Stories from Frankincense. If you guys have any epic tales that you wish to recite from journeys you've had to Frankincense, let me know them down in the comment section below. And I guess that's going to do it for now. This is GalacticGod, out.